Alright guys, so this is KonyaTheGiant from Dudes Doing Stuff, and I'm just here to make a little basics tutorial for Generation Zero. Now, one thing you gotta understand, I'm about to create a new character, but all characters that you have share the same progress as each other. So if you've went further in the game with one character, all the rest will be that far into the game. But as far as their skill levels and stuff like that, they won't be as far as that character. Now, that said, you can still have access to all the safe houses you've unlocked on a character, so you'll be able to go back towards the beginning. Though you can't do the missions, you can, progress through the areas as you would normally. So, we'll create this guy. Let's see. Sure. Let's get some starting outfit. Military punk. Let's go punk. I like the red black. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it adventure level for now. I make difficulties going on. Yeah. Alright. So now, if you notice, starting out, I'm like way up here. I'm already on the missions to unlock the, that my previous character was on. I have all these safe houses unlocked. So we'll just go down here to the original safe house. Alright, fast travel. Okay, so got my new guy. He does have access to we all share the same stash. All your characters will share the same stash, things like that. Now, be able to pick up that adrenaline shot. Now I'm playing with an Xbox controller, but I'm playing it on PC because PC has access to the latest DLC content, and everything I'm reading, the new content will be out. That's on the PC will be out on console around August, is what they're saying. They're having difficulties with some of the multiplayer aspects of the game that they've got. So I'm just gonna grab some stuff, some flares. Alright. Let's see here. Now, as I progress, like, in the game, level-wise and everything, you'll start to notice that, like, right now, I'm picking up everything. But eventually, I'll only be picking up certain types of ammo, certain types of guns, things like that. Let's see here. So, I'll go ahead and go to this safe house. And now, any weapons that are out on the ground that you'll come across. Okay, I'm gonna pick up that radio. I'm show you how you might use a radio. Radios are often used to lure robots to an area, and then you can use other items to basically guerrilla warfare tactics destroy the robot, like with flares, fireworks, and air tanks and compression tank or propane tanks. So I got that. Now the weapon I'm probably going to get out of my stash is going to be of a purple grade, which is like tier level 4, I think. It has like 4 crowns on it. We're going to see for sure. Alright, so, oh, I've got a gray, and I've got a blue. We'll get the pump. It's always fun. We'll get blue AK. Okay, so you'll see I've got a bat in my inventory. In the new DLC, we get melee weapons. We get bats and sledgehammers. The bats, I call them the tick stick because they are a little bit faster, but they do less damage than the sledgehammer. And when ticks are running around you, you can actually swing and hit them out of the air, things like that. Let's see here. Let's go through. Okay. Just gonna stick with these two for now. A blue grade and a purple grade. You'll notice like a gold gun, look the pristine look to it, and then like say for instance this one, it's a dilapidated quality is what they call it. Whereas this one's a little bit nicer. It's got just a tad bit of rust on the barrel, and then of course your purple there again a little bit nicer, and then this one's just nice and shiny and clean. So yeah, now we're gonna need bullets. We got some shotgun shells. I guess I don't have that many shotgun shells. All right, so I got some AK bullets, a few. Um, so let's see. We'll go ahead. Now you get attachments. We can go over attachments and things like that. So let's go down here. Okay, I got an AI 76. That's the AK that we've got. Now, one thing I do use more often than anything is I'll use barrel extensions over suppressors. Barrel extensions, they increase your velocity increase, which increases your range and actually your damage. So, so that's what I usually run with. Okay, now say you got this gun. Um, let's say it didn't have any ammo on it. So you go, you put it, now all that ammo will feed into that gun as you're using it. Um, then, like, I have a magazine for it. The magazine just increase the quality of the magazine increases how much each magazine holds. So, like in the beginning, I think it's a 30 round magazine, and I think this one allows something like uh, 43 rounds. So now we need to assign a slot to them. So I'm gonna assign that to the second slot. I'm gonna assign that to the first slot. Um, I don't have any melee or anything like that yet. So we got our one buckshot in there. All right. Let's see. Now we need to assign these slots. Adrenaline shots. What they do is when you go down, they're gonna allow you to get revive yourself, and you come back with 20 health. Um, so, and these are kind of precious items. They aren't as prevalent as like your first aid kits and things like that, but they are there. Now, what I'm doing is I'm assigning these slots. Now, on a controller, these are going to go to your D-pad, so it's quick access to these items. Now, I suggest you certain items you always put in certain slots, so it kind of gets to be second nature to go. Okay, I press down my D-pad, it's going to bring out my health. Uh, now, the difference between emergency flares and fireworks are emergency flares will, um, wherever you throw them, most machines, most robots will be attracted to that flare. Their attention will be taken away from you and put on the flare. So if you need to shoot them in the back or get access to the more vulnerable parts of the machines, which we'll probably get to that in later videos. Like on the dog robots, it's the tank on its back. The higher grade ones will have armor on the front of that tank. So if you throw the flare away, the tank will be exposed in the back and you can shoot it, and it's pretty much a one shot kill for it. The fireworks kind of work a little bit differently. They cause a sensor overload for the robots in the vicinity of the firework and cause them to just start blind. It basically blinds them. And so they'll start randomly firing, which, if you do it right, they will be shooting each other. And they have friendly fire. Now, the only friendly fire you have with your friends that would join you is explosions, like cars, grenades, things like that, or air tanks and propane tanks if you blow them up. Now, robots will attract robots. Radios will attract the robots. So what we'll do is we'll use like radios with those propane tanks and add in a little flare if we need it, to pull the robots to the tank and then shoot the tank and get multiple robots at once. So we might try something like that later on. So right now, and then two, what I usually do is in that last slot, you'll eventually get binoculars. I'll put them in. I'll put the binoculars on there. Now, what binoculars are good for is viewing in a distance. Of course, I mean, that's binoculars, but they actually have a fundamental use if you get a certain skill, and that skill is spotting intel. At level 1, it will give you the difficulty, it will give you a readout, general readout of the target's health, and similar to this, it will uh, outline the target and everything. And this is used through your binoculars. It's a vision type that you get, and you can select. Now, you should note 31 is your max level. So you only get 31 skill points. So how the game's set up is, uh, excuse me, how the game's set up is to have each party member be specialized in a certain thing. So you will not be able to specialize in all of these. Really, you'll be able to specialize in one tree.
Mic off. Mic
Excuse
on.
me. Specialize in one tree, or really one side of a tree, and then you'll be able to get things that you might need. So, like survival and tech, I never really uh, specialize in these. The one I specialize in, the tree, is combat, and it's this side of the combat tree. I get the reload speed, the run and gun. It while you're running around, which a lot of times you're going to be moving if you're in heavy combat with the robots. It decreases the spread of your shots while you're running. Then, of course, it gives you armor, which level 1, level 2, you get bullet resistance, explosion resistance, and gas resistance. Uh, this one, it increases the damage you do to your enemy's armor, and then, of course, this one, it increases your damage in general with automatic weapons. And then in the end, you get damage resistance across the board of 25%.
Mic off. Mic on.
And as you can see here, it says, you can only have one specialization active at a time. So this is the specialization tree I go down. Now, you do not have to fill out each, fully fill out each little tree or piece of the tree to move to the next one. You just put one skill in and it'll unlock the next skill down from it. So you could, level after you level up, get one here, then the next level, get one there, and keep moving down the tree. Now, some of the other ones to note are the survival tree, increase your stamina. I usually max out my run speed because it's makes you run faster, movement faster. Um, Carrying capacity. This one right now we're at 64 kilograms, and when carrying capacity is maxed out, you'll be maxed out at 94 kilograms. So that one's always nice. That's usually about as far as I go. Well, uh, I do go down to steady feet. That one is because, like, the dogs will jump at you, there will be explosions, and they'll knock you down. This makes it harder for you to be knocked down from those types of attacks, which actually it makes you immune to knockdown for most of the attacks like that, except for I've noticed the Apocalypse class hunters, their ranged explosion will knock you down regardless, and they're a pain in the butt. We all hate them. Uh, so then I'll dip into stamina recharge. Sometimes I go for health. It just depends. You have visibility and movement noise you can possibly go into, um, and covert movement speed. Now, some other ones they're very useful, and I definitely tend to in the beginning go for these after I get my carrying capacity. Is chemist, but it's only so I can get to lock picking because there will be um, these cement little sheds that you'll run across, and you'll need to lockpick the doors, but they tend to hold great loot in them, like be it like ammo, health, guns, even weapons. So they're very useful loot within these facilities, and you can only get them through lockpicking. So if you don't have this, you're not getting in them. Now, in the tech tree, I do like to go get at least spotting intel one, to know my health of my opponents. Sometimes I'll get one of these. Sometimes I might max it out. Just depending on how I feel. Now, this one's the one I really like. Component damage. Um, you know, because you can actually shoot off the guns and weapons of different robots. Now, like dogs, the dog robots, they're called seekers. Um, I'm I'm thinking they're seekers. That's what they're called. Let's see. Um, ticks. Runners. Sorry, runners. They're called runners. The dog class is runners. Um, you can actually shoot off the guns on those their weapons. More so with the hunter class. The hunters are they're the next step up from the runners. They're a humanoid, um, just a little bit taller than you, but kind of bulkier. They have a melee blade on one arm, and they have a gun on another arm, and they typically, like the prototype ones, which prototype class, which are the orange, they have the orange metal to them. They just have the gun and the blade. Now, when you get to the military class, which there'll be a camo, the Phoenix class, which they have gray armor, and then there's the Apocalypse, which they have a funky fog, like mist, like gas mist about them, and they have green glowing stuff on their back. Those three classes, military, phoenix, and apocalypse, they'll have tick tanks, and they're on their back. They're like these long, um, I don't know, tanks on their back that drop out ticks. And the ticks are the little spider ones. They crawl on the ground. They're annoying as all get out. The Apocalypse class tick will actually poison you and do damage over time. Just like the Apocalypse class runner, or we call them dogs, will their bullets will actually poison you, do damage over time. Um, Then you have the harvester class, which they are like a huge crab-looking thing, minus the claws. Um, they most of them drop ticks, shoot rockets at you, which are on their back. Their rocket launchers are on their back. You can actually single those out, but now they have added in a ability where they basically have hunters drop in to protect them. And after you kill out the hunters they summon, they'll just summon a new set. They just keep on pumping them out. So actually, you can use that to your advantage if you want to get a lot of XP, because you can just keep killing the hunters and surviving the keep moving around to survive the rocket blast from the harvester, and it'll give you XP for all those kills. Now the last one is the tank. It is the two-legged robot on the cover and everything. It will have a close range gun, which actually is actually decently long range as well, just like an auto cannon, and then it'll have a rocket launcher. Now, again, you get into your military, Phoenix, and Apocalypse class, they'll they'll have a canister to drop ticks from, and so on. Good defenses against ticks are flares to lure them away from you, keep them off of you, and you can throw fireworks down, and what that'll do is their only attack is to explode. So it will get rid of them. Fireworks thrown at the ticks or on the ticks will cause them to just kill themselves. So, so that's a good one. So now back to the game. That's a little bit of explanation to the different robots and stuff. Um, but yeah, component damage. That's about as far as I go. And actually, I will go past lockpicking and get salvage, so it increases my ammo um output, so I can get more ammo. So that said, let's go see what we can do out here. And let's see here. Alright, we'll put a radio. Let's see here. I think there might be a tank in her. Nope. Alright. You do have a flashlight. For the controller, it's the right toggle. So yeah. Alright, now, in the new DLC, it seems like they've increased the blast radius of the cars. You can blow up cars. These guys you cannot blow up, but you can get in the backs of them. So, now one thing to remember, running around, you're going to your stamina bar will go down. So there's that. These boxes will always produce ammo. Yeah, pretty much just ammo. Backpacks, you're going to find clothing for skins, all your utility things like your, you'll find tanks, adrenaline shots, You'll find your resources, your textiles, and threads and things like that out of backpacks and toolboxes and the such. So let's go over here. Oh yeah, we got one. Okay, so what we can do. Now that might have taken him out, but it didn't. So, I got these ticks here. Chunk that. Alright. Now throw that. Oh. Ticks are taken care of. So, that's how you might use your flares and your fireworks in unison. So, yeah. Take all that. Let's see, take all that. This poor guy, he didn't make it. Thread. Collared shirt. Alright, so, let's see here. Really don't have much else on that. Now, you saw I had multiple characters, and that's because you can use each character to, now, okay, so here's something. These white boxes on houses, you can actually use them to your advantage. And now that radio's gonna play the music. Now when they come to the music, there they are. There we go. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay, that's beetle. There we go. So those white boxes and you'll find them on the side of houses and things like that. So yeah, now these guys actually might be able to get a tank off of them. Okay. So let's see here. Sometimes they do have like fuel tanks on them, and you can get the fuel tanks off the runner, and you can basically set up a scenario like I just did. With the radio and the tanks. So you lay the fuel tanks out on the ground, and then you blow them up when they come to the radio. So there's always that. Now, well, actually, I always put it there. All right. So there's bodies over here. There's some cars back in here. Oh, another body. Bodies are good. Now, once you put like the flares in the slot, it draws from all the flares you have, so you don't have to worry about having to keep putting the flare in. You know. Alright, we did all those. And there's some more dogs over here. So, let's see if we can't get them to come out and play. Alright. I'm pretty Now I'm breathing like I've been smoking like menthols for 25 years, but I'm only like 16. Because the premise of the game is you and your friends have went off to an island for the weekend and partied, and so and you've come back from the island. The island was totally cut off from civilization, and you've come back and you find the world like this. You know, you're just like, oh, what the hell's going on? And so yeah. So yeah. Alright, here we go. Just rolling down the road, you know, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. You know, just rolling down the road in my 6-4. Alright. We got a nasty hunter up here. So let's do this. Let's pull him out in the open here. Let's put this over here. No! No! Get away from me! Alright! Threat averted. Now I'm getting tagged, but that's on those ticks up there. You don't like no ticks. There's a bunch of ticks over there. Let's go say hello to our ticks. Our tick friends. So here we go. Yeah. But yeah, those are just some instances of how you can use flares and things like that. Ah, you are not my friend! Alright, fine. Oh! Okay, so here's how we use an adrenaline shot. Boop. Come back. Oh, really, dude? I didn't get all of you guys. Again, that's another lesson. Remember the vicinity of the explosion. Might take you down. Alright, so ammo. Alright. Those flares would have been nice against them ticks. Just saying. Alright. Now, on the new DLC, which will be a new patch. Let me rephrase that. They're going to patch the game to give you all the new looks, like the stamina bar that's a solid bar, and some of the new features. One of them being ammo. Well, how you can switch between your ammos, I should say. So, like on the shotgun, I've got the buckshot, but I also picked up some birdshot. So if I, like for Xbox players, if you tap the right bumper twice, you'll switch over to birdshot, and you'll start reloading your weapons. So you don't have to actually go in and switch out your ammos. You can just, your different ammo types on your guns, you can just hit the right button twice, and it brings it out. Okay. But, essentially, now, I'm going to have to go in and reset up my first aids and my flares because there again I ran out of my inventory, so it won't automatically put them back into the slot you had them in if you totally run out. But anyways, yeah, that's some of the basics for Gen Zero, some basic explanation of things. We didn't really use any kind of uh, propane tanks or anything like that, but you can see through the application of like the radio I use, the flares and the fireworks, how you can use also put in the propane tanks to and fuel tanks from the robots to create a guerrilla warfare style trap for them. So hope this helps everybody, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.